May is an intense month of graduations, First Holy Communions, weddings, spring cleaning, and summer planning. Today we mark Mother's Day, and at the conclusion of this liturgy, a special blessing be offered and a flower given to the women present, who during this month of Our Lady would remember to honor our Blessed Mother as well as our earthly mothers. We have to pause at this moment in the liturgy when heaven and earth meet and the church gathers and ask ourselves, how have you celebrated the resurrection? This Thursday will mark Ascension of the Lord, and in 2 weeks we'll conclude the Easter season when the Paschal candle will be extinguished and removed from the sanctuary with the Feast of Pentecost. So how have you kept the season? We were very good at Lent. I'm giving this up. I'm counting down the days. When it comes to Easter and joy, Catholics are like, no thank you. I'm not worried about happiness. You should be worried about happiness in your life. The resurrection comes to figure greatly when we lose someone that we love. And all of a sudden we think, how will we see them again? How will we know them again? There's a video on YouTube showing reunions between mothers and their sons who are serving in the military. So I just turned down a bit just to watch it, and I was on my way out to Bushnell last night to go see David McCullough and Stacy Skiff speak about history. So I'm just watching this, waiting for my ride to come, and I start crying, and I'm crying, and I'm crying. So my friend comes to pick me up. What's wrong? Nothing. I'm fine. I'm fine. Commercials get you after a while. But it was wonderful to see that intimacy between a mother and a son who's longed to see her son. We all feel that way about someone. We long to see people that have gone from this world to the next, and we hope that they are praying for us from the next world. But when we come to this moment where we miss someone, this is where heaven meets earth. This is a moment of intimacy. This is when God comes from heaven into our midst. No other religion says that God comes down. God's always like a Bette Midler song, somewhere in the distance, way off. She's not Catholic. It's not Catholic as God is here. God is Emmanuel with us. And so too those who love God are with us. So those that we miss are here with us. You know, how are we keeping the season? We're not accustomed to good weather at all, not in these parts. We're accustomed to shoveling, and now we have flowers and there's grass. I watch the leaves come out of the tree outside my bedroom, and like, it's true, it happens. There is a resurrection. There is. We read the book of Scripture, of the Bible, and we also read the book of nature. And so we stop and stare out the window. Perhaps we should spend some time this afternoon just kind of being lost in our yard, not doing anything but just being on a glorious day to experience what God has created, and the promise that God makes the whole world a symbol for new life, for the fact that we will indeed see our loved ones again. But I have to ask you, how have you lived out your baptism, the sacrament that you renewed at Easter? How is it different? Catholics are great at Lent, but we stink at Easter. There are 40 days of Lent. We've got guilt down pat. Good, you passed the test. But joy, you've got to work at joy. You've got 50 days. The church exaggerates, gives you 10 more days of happiness, and you don't know what to do with it. Maybe because we're too busy during May. I even have a wedding today. I never have a wedding on a Sunday. I got special permission and this and that. Please don't ask me to do another one. But anyways, they had the wedding coordinator, which is kind of time off purgatory for me. Now you'll stand here, now you'll go here, now you go there. No one tells me what to do at a wedding. I offer it up to the heart that made us. On this Mother's Day, we also offer you another thing to do. The church is inviting us to participate in a pastoral planning survey for the future of the Archdiocese. There's an insert in the bulletin that invites your participation either online or on paper to add to the mix of information in order that the church can right-size for the future. You know, we've never accepted the responsibility, if you will, of the incredible changes in our society. The Archdiocese really is kind of like a china cabinet. We just dust it and say, it's fine, it's fine. But if you didn't notice, In Europe, they built highways around the city, and nothing was touched. But in the United States, we built them right through the middle, and that's why we are here in the suburbs, because they knocked down your house. But the churches stayed there. If you go to the Holy City, Waterbury, the new and eternal Waterbury, you'll see there's a church all alongside the highway, where the parishioners, for a couple weeks, couple years, they went back, but now they're all in Wolcott. Now they're all in West Haven. Now they're all in South Windsor. They moved out of the cities. Majority of our buildings are in the city. Majority of sacramental activity is in the suburbs. When the changes went through, there were 800 priests in the Archdiocese of Hartford, and now there's 200 covering the same buildings. And there's 213 parishes. So what did we do? What do we do? That's where you come in. The oldest edifice in the Archdiocese of Hartford is St. Peter's Church in Hartford, and it's in one of the poorest neighborhoods. It seats 1,200, and it's filled with people, filled with poor people that can't support the parish. Some of our biggest parishes are in the suburbs, in the smallest buildings. What do we do? What do we do? I ask you to please participate and help us make the right decisions. Just to illustrate in a concrete way, St. Stanislaus Parish in Waterbury is a Polish parish in a Polish neighborhood, except the Polish neighborhood is now filled with African Americans, all of whom are Baptist. How many people can that church seat? About 700. How many parishioners do they have? 12. So what do you do with a building that seats 500 and you can all sit in the front pew? They also need $7 million worth of repairs in the building. Now those are 12 really strong-willed people, but what do you do? So we ask for your input. And in a particular way, for those that don't participate in church, have them go online. We'd like to know, why don't you participate in church? Or what are we doing that's wrong or upsetting to you, or our time is wrong? We added on an extra Mass on Sunday afternoon because so many of our children participate in a great way in youth sports. And so when we have the 5 o'clock Mass, all these kids in dirty soccer uniforms come in, and that's terrific. That's great, because children need to worship just as much as adults need to worship. So this afternoon, after the wedding, what I'm going to do is fill out my pastoral planning survey, then get in the car and drive to Rhode Island to see my beautiful mother. Because I called her yesterday, she got back from Florida. She had been trapped in the car with my father, and she likes to see her boys. And she said to me, Michael, I said, yeah, Mom. We got home, and did you leave the heat up? I said, oh, yeah, I did. Well, how hot was it? You left it on 72. I said, what do you usually leave it at? 50. Oh. I said, well, it's all right. There goes my inheritance. And she said, but what's nice is you and Jimbo, you always leave the house very nice. The only problem, what? Jimbo left the front door open. She says, so whoever robs the place is going to be very impressed with the fact that everything is so neat. I said, Happy Mother's Day. I said, I blame the parents. What do you blame, Mom? So I'll go down there tonight and get up early and come back for early Mass. But it's very important that whether our mothers are here or in heaven or in Rhode Island with the door always open apparently, that we honor them with our prayer, with our presence, and our thankfulness. We will distribute flowers here for Mother's Day, and I think for Father's Day we'll give away Michelob ponies. And our attendance will be really sky high. As we plan for the future, we have to think, what do we do with the gifts that we have? The idea is not so much that we fill up our days with activity, but that we appreciate our days with one another, and we appreciate the people that brought us to this day. Our mothers, our fathers, our family, our neighbors, our friends, our churches. Oh, and one other thing. Jesus said, love one another, so do that too.